Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. So you're always in trial prep mode. Or as far as I'm concerned, everybody should be. When you file a divorce case or a paternity case or a case to establish a parenting plan or whatever, you're filing a complaint or a petition for what you want at trial a year from now or however long it takes for you to get a trial date. Usually it's about a year in most states. So you should be in the mode of preparing for trial. Why wouldn't you do a deposition right away? Any of you guys who have an attorney, ask your attorney to do a deposition on the mother, whoever's lying about you. Oh, let's just wait till trial. Let's wait till down the road. That's because they want to make easy money off you right now. Go to mediation, trust the process, talk to the guardian ad litem, send this email, send this letter, yak, and accomplish nothing on your case. And then by the time you trust the process and go through it, you're getting totally screwed and railroaded. And they'll say, well, you better settle on this. What about trusting the process and then fighting for me? Well, the investigation, the guardian ad litem report, it's kind of against you. So, and then they tell that to everybody else and tell them surrender. And then they get the next big fat $5,000-$10,000 retainer and move on. Your attorneys are never in trial prep mode because 95% of court cases settle out of court, and your attorney doesn't want to go to court. They want to go to mediation and make money off of you and then spit you out and move on to the next one. So I was just on a Mark Ludwig post, and there's so many guys talking about, yeah, it costs $30,000, it costs this and that. Nobody even thinks about the possibility of representing themselves. When attorneys were telling me all kinds of crap, you'll get every other weekend, and I live 3 blocks from the mom, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? That was my reaction. I didn't bow down and worship them and kiss their ass crack like most of you guys, just automatically trust and blind faith like a bunch of zombie sheep with no brains for you and you can't think for yourself. So, I have videos on my YouTube channel talking about keeping a diary and keeping pictures and having them in an organized fashion. Your diary, you can make reference to pictures. So by the time you go to trial, you have a whole script for an exhibit. Now, you can't go up there on the stand at trial. You're supposed to speak from your heart and from your mind. You can't go up there with notes on what to say or a script. But if your exhibit is a diary, you just walk through it and say, oh yeah, we went to the zoo on this day. And then the kids are like, Dad, why can't we stay with you? And here's pictures 1 through 15 from that day. You keep track of that stuff as you go. A lot of people are rushing at trial and they're trying to get a trial notebook together and 100 exhibits and 5,000 pages worth of stuff, and they're cramming like you would if you never studied or prepared for a final exam. But if you accumulate this stuff as you go, now, there'll be stuff that's more intense, like you'll have a motion for a temporary order, or maybe the mother blindsided you with an ex parte emergency motion to get a restraining order. But outside of those intense moments, you should be accruing stuff as you go. Recordings of visitation exchanges. You know, I was, before everybody had cameras in their cell phones back in like 2002, 2003, I was going to visitation exchanges because my baby's mom lived in LA and one of her sisters lived up here, and I wanted, after a year and a half of abandonment, I wanted my baby's mom's family to get used to my daughter and vice versa. So we went ahead and agreed that the aunt can have some visits. And then the case got dismissed and it got reinstated. And then when it got reinstated, then I had to go to the Court of Appeals to fix that, but it's called an interlocutory decision or discretionary review. But anyway, then the aunt thought that her visitation was over, and technically it was. But what I continued to do is I kept showing up at the McDonald's where we met, and I'd get a coffee or a French fry, and just throw it away. Usually I'm not a coffee drinker. And then I'd have a receipt. And then one day, about a month into it, they're like, he's not even letting me see the kid, and he's alienating us. And I had these receipts showing that I had been there and she was a no-show. And then after that, and that was me being generous when I didn't have to. So then after that, I was like, screw you. But I was piling it on and accumulating this stuff and accumulating evidence. See, a lot of you guys want to win every little argument and every little text message and every little family law wizard exchange or whatever. Just lay low and accumulate your evidence. And then when they come and say, oh, at the visitation exchange, he was flipping me off and he's taunting me, and you got video of the visitation exchanges, you stay in your car, and you have video of the kid, you know, let's say you got a 6 and an 8-year-old, they get out of the car and walk to your car, and the mother's saying you're flipping her off and all this other stuff, and you're getting out of the car and provoking her, and you're sitting in the car videotaping the whole thing. Wait until they say something stupid and then set them up. But all this stuff, you should be accumulating as you go. You know, if you're dealing with a guardian ad litem, I'm sending the guardian ad litem a letter, not a phone call, you dumbass idiots. All you guys love to just make phone calls, and you're so stupid, you don't realize I'm in court. I have to prove to a judge later how this phone call went. So let me just make a phone call, and there's no recording of it, and I'll just tell them later that the guardian ad litem changed her story. Or I told the guardian ad litem that the mother's a narcissist, or she's on drugs, or this and that, and the guardian ad litem doesn't put it in a report. How do you prove later to somebody that you told the guardian ad litem? You write the guardian ad litem an email and say, even if you have a meeting in person and it's not recorded. Now, if a guardian ad litem comes over to my house again, I realize this after the fact, I should have been videotaping within my own house, which I have a right to do, without even asking her, because she's in my house. She didn't have a warrant to come to my house. I let her in, so she's subject to the video or surveillance cameras and stuff like that. And if she finds out I'm recording, say, you don't have my permission to record, say, okay. So she'll ask me a question, okay, what do you think your parenting strengths are? And I'll put the tape recording on. And I'll put my phone on. The question was, what do you think your parenting strengths are? Here's my answer. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm loving and affectionate with my daughter. She feels comfortable approaching me. You know, I'm firm with boundaries and stuff like that. And we do chores together, and she loves it, and blah, blah, blah. Click, turn it off, and wait for the next question. If she doesn't like that, then where does she got to hide? But in preparation for trial, I'm thinking, how do I prove to the court that I informed the guardian ad litem all this other stuff? I write a letter. So many of you guys will say, I called the guardian ad litem and they wouldn't do this. I called the mother's attorney, they wouldn't do that. You effing moronic, stupid, jackass, retarded idiot. You're in a war, you dumbass bitch. What the F is wrong with you? If you're in a war and somebody's against you, why the hell do you have the audacity to expect them to work for you? If you work for Coca-Cola, do you expect Pepsi's advertisers to give you hints on how to advertise Coca-Cola? What the F is wrong with you? If you're playing a football game, do you expect the other side to tell you what the play is that's coming up? Then how the F do you expect the mother's attorney to answer your calls at your beck and call, you dumb moronic idiot? Some of you guys are screwing yourselves in your own case because you don't use common sense God gave a monkey. And you have no sense of urgency to do this the right way. That's why I get pissed. Because a bunch of lazy bum bitches are out here just saying, oh, I'll just call the guardian ad litem. Everybody works for me. Everybody's my public servant. No, you effing moron. You're either representing yourself and you're all alone or you have an attorney. The other side is for the other side. You think O.J. Simpson's defense team was helping out the prosecutors with evidence to use against him? Or were they objecting to it? Some of you guys got to wake the F up out of your zombie-like state. This is why I talk the way that I talk, because everybody else is placating to you, or you go on to Judge Anthony's page or Family Court Corner, and they're talking all nice. Hey, just use this technique, and this is really good. Use this technique on how to deal with a narcissist, and then use this technique and this and that. But they're not telling you how to go to war and get on the offensive and grow some balls and be a real man. And you're going in there like a sheep led to the slaughter, and you just follow the lead of your attorney, even though it doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense, but I trust my attorney. Meanwhile, attorneys are the ones who created the corrupt system that you're whining, crying, and pissing about. And the corrupt system's railroading you. And then you trust your attorney who's part of the corrupt system? That's like trusting a mafia concierge or a mafia boss or a mafia hitman to teach you good ethical business practices. They're in the mafia. So anyway, you want to be in trial mode all the time. Every time something happens, you got to think, how am I going to prove this later at trial? And make a note of it and put it in a binder, have stuff organized under a file by date, number. I show you guys how to do this on my YouTube channel. Those of you guys who don't have the balls or care and love your kids enough to go and dig and search and find this stuff on your own, I'm giving you, go look for how to file and how to save stuff, how to do a diary, search pictures on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. But you should be in mode, I'm ready to go to trial and I'm going to make this thing and I'm going to be ready for trial.